The year 2020 has been off to a difficult start. Coronavirus used to be a word that not a lot of people had heard about unless they were fascinated by viruses. But now it's an unavoidable word. But what's all the fuss about? What even is a virus? Well, there are different types of these tiny little things, but they all have some things in common. They have an instruction manual on how they are made, the genetic material, which is called RNA. This RNA is inside a little case that protects it, called a capsid. These little viruses are small, very small, even smaller than bacteria. We have become used to calling this new version as the coronavirus, but there are different types of coronaviruses. Technically speaking, the one we're dealing with right now is called SARS-CoV-2, and the disease it causes? This disease is called COVID-19. So, let's say John has just been infected by the virus. Maybe someone coughed near him, or maybe he touched his face after he touched something that had the virus on it. The virus starts its journey in the nose or mouth. This is day 0. Let's just focus on one of John's cells for now. The virus attaches itself to one of his cells. Then it squirts its RNA into the cell. But John's cell does not realize something is different about this RNA. It sees this instruction manual as its own and follows the instructions. Unknowingly, his cell is producing more and more viruses until it breaks down and the new viruses repeat the cycle in other cells. Viruses are sneaky like that. How does all this play out? The beginning of an infection by a virus is what we call the incubation period. That's the period in which the virus is increasing its numbers, building its army, biding its time. We say the average time is 5 days. It's important to know that John can still start spreading the virus sometime after the incubation period begins, even if he's not coughing or having a fever yet. Eventually, the virus moves into the next phase, the symptomatic phase. As the name implies, it's when John is showing symptoms. Around this time, the body also says, "What's going on? Why are so many of our cells dying?" The immune system kicks in and the body starts killing the virus. For a lot of people, this is where their viral story ends. One study estimates that more than 80% of people may show little to no symptoms of the virus. It's the remaining 20-ish% that we need to worry about. It's one of the many reasons why we need to stay home. Not just to keep ourselves safe, but them as well. Because for these people, the war between the virus and their immune systems can be so severe they need to be in hospitals. Sometimes the collateral damage from this war can leave their bodies weak, so they end up getting other infections like pneumonia. Hospitals have a limited number of beds and ventilators, and doctors and nurses who are not ill, which means that in some cases we may have people dying not just because their cases are severe, but because they cannot access proper health care. In some cases, this has already begun. So there you have it, folks. A crash course on what actually happens inside someone's body when they have been infected by a virus like SARS-CoV-2. Viruses have a fascinating science behind them. Use this time to read up some more about it. And while you're at it, don't forget to wash your hands and stay at home as much as you can.